All right, this video will go over the 1.1 homework, starting with number 1, and these answers are on OneNote. If you go under lesson, chapter 1, Introduction to Geometry, go under slides 1.1 and slide down until you see the solutions here. Okay, so in the photos below, identify the physical model to represent a point, segment, plane, collinear points, collinear planes. So a point could be a ball, the corners of the cube or the net. The segment could be the connectors of the corners on the cube, the edge of the net. A plane could be the side of the cube, the tabletop, the net. Collinear points could be the intersection points on one string of the netting. And next would be 2. Name the line in 2 different ways. So you can either be line PT or line TP. And then with number 4, so you can actually do any 2 of the following of these options, whether it's MA or AS or SM or MS. They're all valid ways of saying the line. And then we have number 5. It says draw 2 points and label them, and then use a ruler to extend each line. And so on this one, they're basically going to have you draw point A, and then draw point B, label it, get out a ruler, and just connect them to each other. And you're done. Oh, I put arrows on the end. That's right. And you're done. Next is 7. So with this one, you get out a coordinate grid, label point D at x is -3, y is 0, and then label point E as x is 0, y is -3. And so once you put D here and E here, then just draw a line connecting them and put arrows on the end, and you're done. Let's see, number 8. Name each line segment. So again, you can either say AC or CA for this one. And number 10. So number 10, you have a triangle, and you could either say you have 3 different line segments. You have TR, RI, and IT, or TI. You can have the letters in either order. Number 11 says draw and label each line segment. So again, with this one, just draw point A, draw a line segment, point B, and you're done. And number 11, that's number 11. So 14 and 15. All right, so with 14, if you measure it in your textbook, you should get 6.7 centimeters. Make sure you say the measure of arc CD equals 6.7. Always remember units on that. And go ahead in 15. Again, just label point A. Use your ruler to measure out 4.5 centimeters. And then label end point B. And go ahead and mark it 4.5 centimeters. Number 20. And says draw and mark a figure in which M is the midpoint of ST and SP equals PT, and T is the midpoint of PQ. So with that's number 20, pardon me, 19 first, okay. 18 first, wow. Okay, so I got 15, 18's next, okay. So name each midpoint and the segment it bisects. And so with this one, the midpoint here would be R, and R bisects segment PQ. Here, point X bisects segment WY, and then Y bisects segment XZ. On the third figure of the triangle, it looks like D is the midpoint, but because it's not marked, it's not. If it had been marked like this, okay, now we can say it's a midpoint, but we cannot assume it unless it's marked. So only R, X, and Y are midpoints. In 19, it says draw 2 segments that have the same midpoint and mark your drawing to show congruent segments. And so in 19, there are two possibilities that you could have gotten. The way to do it is draw two segments that have the same midpoint. So draw one segment, two segments, and let's try that a little bit better here. Then just mark it as a midpoint of both segments and you're done. Or you can do it the second way. Okay, number 20. So with 20, you really got to do this step by step. So start with segment ST. So draw a figure where M is the midpoint of ST. So start with ST. And then label it as a midpoint. We'll just use 2 dashes here. And then it says that SP equals PT. And so we need a point P. And I'll just put it right here. And then it looks like what we have now is a triangle. These are the same. And then we have T as the midpoint of PQ. So now we need a point PQ. And then we need a point Q. And T needs to be a midpoint, so mark it with 3 dashes there. And you're done. That's number 20. Finally, 21 and 24. So in 21, with array, A is the endpoint, but it can either be AB or AC. Both will refer to the same array. And then in 24, draw and label each array. Well, A is the endpoint, so label that point A and put B somewhere to the right of it, and you're done. Okay, that concludes the 1.1 homework.